I am in a different room today, and probably for at least the next few videos. I'm not sure for exactly how long, because I got a puppy. You can sort of see her. The camera's still on the tripod, but there have been some changes in terms of where I gotta be with her and taking care of her. So during this time, I thought I would film in here because this is one of our hangout spots. So this is temporary. Eventually, I will be back in front of my bookshelf. I'm sorry if this isn't the most aesthetically pleasing background, but that's not really the most important thing anyway. It's about your love for books. Some of my favorite booktubers don't film in front of books at all, and I think their videos are fine. I think what's most important is what you're saying and how you feel and your authenticity and all that. So yeah, just wanted to give a disclaimer about that. This is temporary, so if you hate this backdrop, don't worry, it won't be there forever. I think it looks okay, but it is a little different. So today I'm just going to be talking about some books that I got in the month of July. I got 7 books. It'll be the same as usual, except just know that there's a dog here. Maybe I could have changed the angle so you could see her, but I can include some photos of her so you can get a better look at her. This is day 8 of having her, and in the whole time I've had her, I have not filmed yet, so this is my first attempt. Thought I'd do it while she's sleeping, and so far it's going pretty well. So feels good to be back at this, because this was like one of the things that I just couldn't really do with her at first, but she's chilling out. So I'm gonna tell you about the books I got. So the first book I got is from a local bookstore. I'd been there before, but it had been a little while. I hadn't actually ever gotten any books from there, and I went there, I looked around, and there was a book I saw that was kind of interesting, but I ultimately put it down. But then it was still on my mind, and so the next day I just went there again, and I got the book. And that is this book, I Never Asked You to Understand Me by Barthe de Clements. What was interesting about this book to me is that it's a young adult book from the 80s. Like, this is an edition from the 80s, you can probably tell. This specific edition, I don't know if it's a first edition, but it's from 1986. Yeah, it says first Scholastic printing, July 1987. I don't have a lot of older books. Like, this isn't that old, but it's still nearly 40 years old, so I thought that was interesting. Plus, it's young adult, and it's not very long, and that can certainly determine whether or not I pick up a book, because I'll be like, well, it won't take me very long to read. And it was just especially interesting because I love young adult and realistic fiction. I read a lot of the modern stuff, but I've read a lot of older stuff like Judy Blume. This book seems to be a little more obscure. It doesn't have a whole lot of ratings on Goodreads, but it just looked like the kind of book I would like, and I was curious to read it because it's older. And I just think it's cool that this is an older edition of the book. I'm currently reading this, so you'll hear a review of it eventually. I'm over halfway done with it. I will read you the synopsis. Who will stop the pain? Nobody understands why Dee Dee's hurting so bad. Her grandmother says she makes her own pain, but nothing Dee Dee does can stop it, especially not being sent to Cooperation High. Cooperation is an alternative school, a school for rejects. Dee Dee hates being stuck there, but she likes the kids in her class, Stacy, who's afraid of her father, and TJ with his cool blue eyes. Dee Dee wants to start feeling good again. She wants Stacy to be happy too. Maybe it's time to put the pain behind them. Maybe it's not too late to start again. I won't say much of what the book is about other than the fact that I just read the synopsis, but I mean, when I do my review, it'll be in my own words. But I will give my impressions so far. I am enjoying it. I don't think it's the most groundbreaking, amazing thing ever. Not that it has to be. This just seems to be one of those books that came out at the time that didn't become a classic, but that doesn't mean it's not good or that it doesn't have something to offer. I'm finding it very realistic. I think it goes over some very important, heavy topics and family situations, so that's good. I think a lot of people will find themselves in this book, or if not, they can learn to be more sympathetic towards people in those situations. And yeah, I mean, I just like the normalcy of it all. I like all the regular stuff in it, so I'm liking this. Probably won't become my favorite book, but so far I am thinking it's good. I don't know that there is an author bio in this book. It looks like the last pages are the last chapter, and then before that, they've just got books that she also wrote. I had never read anything by this author before. I don't think I'm interested in a lot of her other books, but she does have a book called Sixth Grade Can Really Kill You. My library has that, so I think I'll read that sometime. So it seems she wrote for teenagers and a little bit younger. I don't know about anything beyond or between that. But yeah, I mean, on the bottom of the book it says she's the author of 17 and in between. And there is some praise on the back. Publishers Weekly says de Clements creates memorable incidents with her large group of well-delineated characters, and Kirkus Reviews says a well-written problem novel with authentic, believable characters. Teens will recognize themselves. I mean, I do remember doing a little bit of research on her. I think she was born in 1920. She passed away. I don't remember when, but I believe she did pass away. So yeah, I don't know much about the author. Unfortunately, I don't think that's in this book. Maybe about the author sections weren't always common back then. I don't know, but yeah. Then, I think it was that same day I went to Barnes & Noble. I got 4 new books, all in the middle grade section. The first 3 are all connected, and I believe I mentioned them recently. But those are the Rowley Jefferson books by Jeff Kinney, this sort of spin-off from Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but this time from the main character of Diary of a Wimpy Kid's best friend, Rowley. These are journals from his perspective. So they're similar to Diary of a Wimpy Kid in the sense that they are journals. They've got illustrations on every page, but the handwriting and the drawing style is a little different because it's from a different character, and I think the author does a really good job at writing and drawing from another character's perspective that really matches that character, and I find Rowley to be a much more likable character than Greg, so these are fun. I read these two a few years ago. I checked them out from the library, and I remember enjoying those. And then there was this one, and these all came out maybe like within a year of each other from the late 2010s to early 2020s. I'm sure my library has this one, but this one I just decided I'd wait until I owned them to read them, so finally I have it, so I was able to read this. I've done a review of it. This was pretty fun, and then there's going to be a part 2 to this one, so ultimately the 4th book in the Rowley series coming out later this month, so very soon at the time of recording this. So you've got Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid, Rowley Jefferson's Journal, Rowley Jefferson's Awesome Friendly Adventures, and Rowley Jefferson's Awesome Friendly Spooky Stories. So this one, if I remember, I think might just be kind of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, so like regular, real stuff, but from his perspective. I think that's all it is. And then this one is like fantasy stories that Rowley made up. It's been a few years, I'll flip through it. I think it's got like mythical stuff and stuff like that, so stories that he made up. And then these are little spooky stories from Rowley's perspective. There are, I think, maybe 13 stories in here, around that amount. And because they're from Rowley, they're not like that scary, but they're kind of disturbing. They're interesting, they're funny and ridiculous. So yeah, these books are fun. I suppose I could read the synopsis for each of them. So this one, the synopsis on the back is actually in comic form, so that's pretty cool looking. So it says, "Hi, my name is Rowley Jefferson, and this is my book. Now I have a diary just like my friend Greg." And Greg corrects him, "It's a journal." Rowley says, "I called my book Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid because that's what my dad always says about me. You are an awesome friendly kid. Even though this book is about me, it has a whole lot of Greg in it because he is my best friend. Sometimes my parents say things that make me think they don't feel the same way about Greg as I do. We do not like Greg. Anyway, I hope you like my book because I worked real hard on it, and I hope my friend Greg likes it too. He totally stole my idea." Then on the back of this one, it's not quite the same, a bit more basic, but it's got some fun illustrations there. It says, "Adventure awaits. From the imagination of Rowley Jefferson comes an adventure of epic proportions. Join Roland and his best friend Garg the Barbarian as they leave the safety of their village and embark on a quest to save Roland's mom from the White Warlock. Will our hero survive? Find out in Rowley Jefferson's Awesome Friendly Adventure." Okay, so it's just one adventure, so I don't think this is a collection of stories like the spooky stories. I think this is all one story. Again, it's been a while, but yeah. I don't remember, like, which of these books I liked the most. I just know that I read them. And then for this one, it says, "Scare yourself silly. Grab a flashlight, crawl under the covers, and dive into the twisted, unexpectedly hilarious world of Rowley Jefferson's imagination. You'll meet zombies, vampires, ghosts, and much more in these comically terrifying tales. Rowley's spooky stories might leave you laughing, but beware, you can end up sleeping with the lights on." So of these books, when I got them last month, I had already read these two. I hadn't read this one, but I've read it now. I started reading it pretty shortly after I got it. They don't take long. Pretty fun. Also from Barnes & Noble that day, I got A Glimmer of Change by Elle McNichol. I think this is a beautiful cover. Very nice looking. Love the colors. This is in her universe with the characters Addie and Keaty. Addie is the main character of A Kind of Spark. I've read that. Haven't read anything else in that universe yet. From my understanding, all those books could be read as standalones, but they're connected. Like, this is from Addie's sister Keaty's perspective when Keaty was younger, because in A Kind of Spark, Keaty is, I think, in college. So this is when she was maybe 11 or 14 or something. This is middle grade. So it's basically a prequel to A Kind of Spark, but I think there's another one, the book that's just called Keaty. I think that's another one from when Keaty was younger, so there's more than one, so that's interesting. We'll see what the purpose of those two are, not that there couldn't be anything. But yeah, I'm excited to read this someday. So if you wanted to read all these books, I don't think it really matters the order. Maybe you can do publication order. I'm not going to be too hard on myself about it. I started with A Kind of Spark, and I want to read all the others in that world. So on the front, it says, "Some souls are meant to be loud." On the back, it says, "Welcome to Juniper. We are a small town and we have centuries of history. We also have bullies. I didn't mean for it to happen, but lately, kids are lining up for my help. I'm the only one who isn't afraid to take on the tormentors who tease them after class, mock them in the neighborhood, and make them feel small. At first I was surprised, but I get it now. Sometimes standing up for other people is 100 times easier than standing up for yourself." Here is a photo of the author. Elle McNichol is a best-selling and award-winning children's novelist. Her debut, A Kind of Spark, was a Schneider Family Book Award honor title, an overall winner of the Waterstones Children's Book Prize and the Blackwell's Book of the Year, as well as being shortlisted for the Barnes & Noble Children's and YA Book Award. A Kind of Spark was also adapted for television in partnership with Nine Story Media Group and BBC Children's. Elle has twice been nominated for the Carnegie Medal and was shortlisted for the Books Are My Bag Readers Award, among others. Elle is an advocate for better representation of neurodiversity in publishing, and she lives in North London. So yeah, Elle McNichol herself is autistic, so these stories with autistic characters, like the main character in here, Keaty, are... I don't know if all the stories are based on her own experiences, but at the very least she understands what it's like. And that's really important to some people. I've also read her book, Show Us Who You Are. I read that earlier this year and I thought that was great. So far I've really enjoyed all of her books that I've read. I look forward to reading more from her. And I know that A Kind of Spark was adapted into a TV show. I have not seen that. Maybe I will someday. I don't know if it's even available in my area because it's English, but maybe someday, we'll see. Then I've got a book from Ollie's Bargain Outlet and a book from Walmart. So the book from Ollie's Bargain Outlet is quite relevant to my situation. A book about Labrador Retrievers. It's from a series called Breed Profiles. This is by Katharina Schlegel-Koffler. It's got images, that's an end page. Images and information about dogs. I started reading this, I've only read a little bit of it, but it can be nice for me to read nonfiction about something I can relate to, so hopefully that will help me learn how to take good care of my dog. Yeah, it looks interesting and informational. This book, I think, wasn't even on Storygraph, but it is on Goodreads with few ratings, so it's not very popular. I think it was published in 2013. But it was at Ollie's, and I think it could be useful. So there's that little book I got. I can read the synopsis. Barron's Profiles the Labrador Retriever. Barron's large format, photo-filled breed profiles volumes tell prospective owners everything they need to know about many of the most popular dog breeds. Stunning color photos show selected breeds in progressive stages of growth and development, as well as at play and simply enjoying life. A large double-page photo features an ideal example of the breed and includes labeling for AKC standards. Friendly, energetic, and straightforward, these are the qualities of the Labrador Retriever. It's no wonder this beloved animal has won the hearts of so many dog lovers. Author Katharina Schlegel-Koffler advises on selection and purchase, provides information on diet and healthcare, and offers tips on training your lab. As for an About the Author section, at the very beginning of the book, there's some information about the author and her experience with Labradors, so that's there. But yeah, she's basically a woman who has owned many Labradors throughout decades and seems to be quite an expert in them. And then from Walmart, I got Britney Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me. Still got that discount sticker on it. I need to get a lot of stickers off books. I got that sticker scraper, you might have seen it, but I need to take the time to really do that. But yeah, I listened to an audiobook of this last year and thought about owning it. Now I actually own it, so that's cool. It's got these nice end pages that I didn't know were part of it, so that's cool. So this I've already read, but I like her enough to keep this in my book collection. I think that'll be cool to own, and just nonfiction in general I like having. I can go back to it and reference it. I don't think there are any photos in here besides, yeah, the end pages. Usually these kinds of books do have some photos in them, but that's okay. But I will still read you the synopsis and author bio. The Woman in Me is a brave and astonishingly moving story about freedom, fame, motherhood, survival, faith, and hope. In June 2021, the whole world was listening as Britney Spears spoke in open court. The impact of sharing her voice, her truth, was undeniable, and it changed the course of her life and the lives of countless others. The Woman in Me reveals for the first time her incredible journey and the strength at the core of one of the greatest performers in pop music history. Written with remarkable candor and humor, Spears' groundbreaking memoir illuminates the enduring power of music and love, and the importance of a woman telling her own story on her own terms at last. So yeah, it's basically just her story. I found it very interesting, especially learning more about her conservatorship, because I remember hearing about that, but I didn't really know what that was or what was going on with that. So it was really interesting hearing about that and just the other things she's been through. Like, I know people often will talk about, like, public breakdown she's had or stuff with paparazzi, but I think reading this, you might understand it a bit better. It's like, what else was she supposed to do at that point, you know? So definitely made me sympathetic for her and understand her a bit better. And it's very inspiring. And yeah, I just thought it was a really interesting story. I think I listened to the audiobook in maybe like 3 days, or I don't remember. It didn't take very long for me. Author bio, you probably know who Britney Spears is, but I'll read it anyway. It's got the same end page here. Multi-platinum Grammy Award-winning pop icon Britney Spears is one of the most successful and celebrated entertainers in music history, with more than 100 million records sold worldwide. In 2021, she was named one of Time magazine's 100 most influential people. Spears' album Blackout was added to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's library and archives in 2012. She lives in Los Angeles, California. So those are all the books I got recently. Some of them I've already read, some of them I'm currently reading. I guess the only one I have not read at all yet is A Glimmer of Change. Might be a while before I get to it, but I'm glad to own it now. If the library had it, I would have just got it there, but no matter. So yeah, thank you for watching this haul. If you want to give me your thoughts on this background, you may. It's not what I'm mainly going to do. It's just what works right now. And this was my first video I filmed with it, and I think it went pretty well. The dog's still sleeping. She's doing well, so yeah, thank you for watching. One more thing, I gotta show the Naked hardbacks on the hardcovers that have dust jackets. So for A Glimmer of Change, see what this looks like. I think I already looked at it, maybe. Okay, it's just this light blue, some gold on the spine. Looks decent. For The Woman in Me, looks black. Oh, that's nice. It's got a little rose. Most books don't have anything on the front, but some do. And then on the spine, I was gonna say pink, but that's kind of more purple, I guess. I don't know, what does it look like to you? But this is a nice color scheme.